Hi, tribe. My name is Mana May, and my dear sister Jax has invited me here today to share with you some embodied movement practices. So I'm super grateful to be here and have this opportunity to share these rituals with you, these rituals that are really dear to my heart and I feel are such important practices to have in this moment in time, especially with what is going on in the world around us. So thank you, Jax. I really appreciate you inviting me here. So I'll just introduce myself quickly first. My name is Mana May, and hi, Bailey. Nice to see you. Thank you for saying hi. My name is Mana May, and I currently live in Bali, and I have been a dancer my entire life. I started dancing ballet when I was 3, and hi, Jackie. I went to university for dance, studied modern dance. I was a professional modern dancer in California after university. And then I moved to Bali. I had a baby, and I moved to Bali. And once I got to Bali, I started teaching embodied dance, mostly working with women and helping women to find more freedom in their bodies, more freedom in their life, to liberate their minds, liberate their bodies, liberate their spirits through dance as the medium. And that's the work I've been doing now for about 5 years. And I do work with men as well, but almost exclusively I've been working with women. So, right now I'm in Bali and super happy to be here. And Bali is a really beautiful place to explore embodiment and to dance. And there's tons of ecstatic dance. And for everyone who's watching, how many of you, or what is the first word that comes to your mind when you hear the term ecstatic dance? Go ahead and type it in. I just want to see where we're at with people's knowledge around ecstatic dance. Come on, write something. It could be ecstatic dance or embodied dance. Yes, Bali is a very spiritual place, exactly. And actually, Ubud, which is where I live, means healing or medicine. And yes, happy, I agree. Ecstatic dance is very happy. So for those of you who don't know what ecstatic dance is it is intriguing too. Thanks, Tracy. Great, I'm about to explain it. Awesome. So ecstatic dance is a practice that was started, I think about 30 years ago. And it was started in Hawaii. And basically it's a space where people can come together and dance without talking, without substances. There's no alcohol allowed, there's no talking allowed, there's no shoes allowed. And it's basically just a space where people can come and express themselves through movement and through dance and have that shared experience. And the idea is that through the dance, which is between 1.5 hours to 3 hours long, you're able to drop into this meditative state where your mind is able to release and your body is able to basically move whatever energy needs to be moved, to move in whatever way it wants to without thinking about how it looks, if it's pretty or ugly or if it's good or bad, but really just allowing the body to express whatever is alive inside. And this is the same thing as embodied dance. So embodied dance, you tune into what energy is alive inside of you, and then you allow that energy to move you. So with dance, there's 2 ways. There's dancing from the outside in, which is thinking about how dance looks, much like in technical dance, in ballet or modern dance. You think about the moves you're doing and the way the dance looks. So that's dancing from the outside in. In embodied dance and ecstatic dance, you move from the inside out. So you start with the feeling body. You tune into what's actually alive inside. What are the feelings? What are the sensations? So it could be a vibration of excitement or nervousness or even bliss or anger. So you start with whatever is true, and then you allow your movement to be birthed from that. Hi, Teresa, am I saying that right? Yeah, so a lot of people are in lockdown, and of course there's not ecstatic dance happening right now, although we had a Zoom ecstatic dance the other day, which was surprisingly fun. I was skeptical, but it was surprisingly fun. But what I'm going to get to, my point later, is going to be that these are practices that you can do by yourself in your home, especially during this time when most people are in lockdown. And that's the beautiful thing about dance, is you can do it anywhere. You can do it in your living room, you can do it in the shower, in your bathroom, in your garden. It's really a practice that we can just accommodate to whatever our environment situation is. Yeah, anyone who has just like turned on music in their living room and danced around, this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is ecstatic dance. So ecstatic dance and embodied movement are very, very similar. And this is what I focus on teaching to women, and this is exactly the point. How can we connect back to our feeling body? Because what I've seen and what I've experienced for myself is that most of us have suppressed our feelings, right? I mean, how many people can like relate to that? I think almost everyone. And it starts so young. It starts as babies. Babies are suppressed from crying. They're pacified. Either a pacifier gets stuck in their mouth, or they're rocked, or their mouth is put on the boob. So even from infancy, we are being taught that there are certain levels of emotional expression that are not okay. And these are the negative emotions, like sadness and pain and crying and anger and frustration. And so most of us have at some level suppressed these feelings. And we're fucking human, so of course we all have these feelings. But what happens is they start to come up, you feel that discomfort, and then we shut it down. And there are lots of different ways to shut it down. For me, what I did when I was younger was I actually shut down. I just completely numbed myself. I would basically turn into a zombie. I couldn't talk. I couldn't look at people in the eyes. I couldn't express myself in any way because I had to numb myself in order to not continue feeling the intensity of these emotions. And I know that all of us have experienced this at some level or another. And this is exactly what this work of embodied movement is trying to unprogram. We're trying to rewire our understanding of expressing, of feeling. Hi Maggie, thanks for joining. And the avenue I use in dance is dance. And so the first thing is about just being able to tune into feeling. What are the actual vibrations that are happening in my body? And it can start at the surface level, feeling the air against the skin, or the feeling of, thank you, the clothing on your skin. And then it can go a little bit deeper. Can you notice any vibrations in your muscles? Can you notice any vibrations in your bones, in your organs? What are the sensations in your heart or in your throat or in your belly or your hands? So this is the first step, is just tuning into what is actually there. And what we tend to do is we tend to label these feelings. So emotions is energy in motion. Emotions are when we attach labels to our feelings, to our energy, to our sensations. So for example, if I feel a specific combination of sensations in the body, maybe it's like a pounding in the heart and some sort of tightness in the throat, then what my mind wants to do is it wants to attach a label to that. So it wants to say this is excitement or nervousness or anything like that. But what we can do is we can detach the label and just go back to the pure feeling, going back to the tightness in the throat or the pounding in the chest, and just feel the sensations for what they are, which is just energy. And then we can welcome it and feel it more and feel safe in it. And then we can use the dance to allow the energy to move through. And so what starts to happen is we don't hold anything in anymore. Even when we feel things we traditionally label as bad or negative, like sadness or pain or anger, which are not bad at all. These are perfectly normal and healthy human feelings, but we've just been programmed to think otherwise. So when we start to feel these more intense feelings like anger, instead of immediately just suppressing it down, I can just allow myself to feel that, the heat, the tingling, the intense pulsing or the intense vibrating, and really focus on the actual sensations, which without thinking, oh, this is anger. And once I can do that, I can welcome it in and I can allow it to move through the body, and then I can use the movement and the dance and the actual physical body to release the energy. And what starts to happen is we start to clear the body. We start to clear the channels of the body. We start to remove the stuck energy that's inside of the body and allow space for energy to just keep naturally flowing in and out like it wants to. Some feelings come up, I feel it, I express it, and then it leaves. And so there's no more holding of things in, there's no more suppressing. Because what happens when we suppress emotions and suppress feelings in the body is we get sick. We feel stuck, we get depressed, and we can even get physically sick. A lot of physical sickness is due to stuck energy in the body. And there's so many things that I want to talk about right now, but I'm going to try to really stay on task because I want to get into a practice with you. But basically, I'm just prepping you for why. Why do we do this? Why do I think embodied movement is so important? It's important because we need to learn how to feel again. Because this is the key to true liberation. To be able to control the mind, allow it to soften, to be able to activate the body, to have control over how the energy moves through your body, to actually be able to direct energy through your body, to awaken it, to intensify it, and to move it through the body. And all of this is tied to liberating the spirit. How can we become more fully expressed in ourselves? How can we feel happier? How can we feel more grounded and peaceful in who we are? It's by liberating our spirit. And the way we liberate our spirit is by accepting every part of ourselves. And it goes beyond self-love. It's radical self-acceptance. I accept that part of myself that is an angry bitch. I accept that Kali energy, that Sekhmet energy, that fire. And I also accept that part of me, that little girl that feels really tender inside, that needs to be held, that needs to be loved. And once we can really accept these feelings, accept all of these parts of ourselves, then we just dance with it. And nothing is bad. All of it is good. All of it is part of really who we are in our authenticity and part of our perfection. And this is true liberation. When we can just accept who we are and be able to show up in the world in this truth, being faced with everything that's going around us and really feel strong and grounded in who we are. And this is what embodiment is all about. How can we be our true, authentic selves when we are having to drive on the highway and interact with other people and stand in line at the grocery store? How can we always stay connected to our body, to our energy body, and to be able to feel fully in control of everything that's happening inside of ourselves, like embodied ninjas. So, that's that. So what I want to share with you today is a practice that I've been developing over the last couple of years called Mana movement. And Mana is my name, but Mana is also a Polynesian word that means the embodiment of life force energy. It's the spirit, and It's also considered the birthplace of all of creation. And so that is exactly what this practice is about. How can we activate our mana? How can we activate our life force energy? And using these movements and using the breath to send that through the body, to clear the channels, to release stuck energy, to feel freedom in the body, to find more fluidity in the body, and to use this practice as a way to already create more liberation. And you can use this for stress relief. You can use this for grounding. You can use this as a meditation. Oh my God, Tracy Mono is a facilitator at the Embodied. Yes, I did. Hi, Sarah. Good to see you. Yay. So Sarah, this will all feel very familiar to you as well. Yeah, so this practice has so many purposes, and it can be done by absolutely anyone. You don't have to have any dance experience. You don't have to know anything about dance. You could have never danced in your entire life, and this practice will work for you. And for me, it's everything. It's meditation. It activates the physical body. It is a spiritual practice. It's a way to connect yourself on all levels. Connect yourself, connect yourself to the oneness, the world around you, and connect yourself to other people if this is done in a group, in a collective. So what I'm going to share with you today is just a little snippet. So this practice in its entirety is about an hour long, and it goes through different phases. So it has different phases of sitting and standing and different elements. But what we're going to go through today together is kind of like the core of the practice. And my hope is that if you can actually do this with me and follow along. And all that it requires is it requires a floor. So hopefully all of you have a floor. And enough space around you just to sit in a cross-legged position and go like this with your arms. And I would recommend doing it on something squishy, so either a yoga mat or carpet, or if you need to put a pillow under your butt, then that's going to be best. And obviously, if you can't join to actually do the practice right now, but you still want to watch the live, you are fully welcome just to continue watching and just witness, and you can breathe together with us, or just kind of understand by seeing the practice as we go. So let me just see if I want to share anything else. So after we finish the practice, I'm going to give some time if anyone has some questions or if they want to share what came up for them while they were doing the practice, then we will have some time for that. I hope. I'm really bad with time once I start talking. Oh shit, it's already 4:30. Oh wait, no, we started at 4:15. Okay, cool, perfect. Yeah, so we'll have some time at the end if anyone has anything to share, any questions for me. Let me just see if there's anything else I want to say. Okay, so this practice, like I said, it's about awakening your creative life force energy. And it's also really based on returning to the feminine paths of movement. And the feminine paths of movement are circles, spirals, and waves. And just like in nature, this is what you see. Nature grows and moves in these cycles, in these cyclical patterns, in the spirals and the waves. And these are the natural ways of moving. And just like in nature around us, this is also the natural ebb and flow of energy inside of each one of us. And unfortunately, what has happened in today's world is we live in a very linear world. And linear is associated with the masculine in the way that we do our lives. We're very goal oriented. It's very like one path at a time. And even the way we move our body, walking, standing, sitting, it's very linear. And even a lot of traditional exercises like weight training or even things like yoga are also very linear, and they involve a lot of tension, holding the body in specific positions. And yes, please do this later. It's available for you. It's great to do whenever you can. and tensing the muscles. And while this is good, and I think these practices are really useful, what they don't do is create space in the body. What they don't do is open the channels and create a sense of softness and ease. And for energy to really have a clear path to move through the body, there has to be opening. There has to be softness. There has to be space for the energy to actually release through. And so what this practice does is it brings us into these feminine paths of movement so that the body starts to soften energetically and physically. Those subtle holding patterns that we all have in the body start to melt away. And it brings us into these spirally motions, these wave motions, as a way to help assist the energy to return to its natural flow within the body. And therefore, this embodied, this life force energy that's inside of all of us has the space to move through and manifest. So what this practice can become is it can become a ritual for manifestation, because it unlocks all of that creative potential that lives inside of you, inside of your hara. Your hara is your center for creativity. And for a woman, it's the womb. For a man, it's a couple inches below the belly button, in the same place where your womb would be if you had one. And this is where your hara is. So this is where all of that, thank you, I love my tattoo too. So this is where all of our creative potential lives. So through these movements, we can activate the hara, we can activate this creative energy, and then we can use these movement patterns to actually manifest this energy through the body. And you'll experience more passion, more creativity, more inspiration, and you can use this as a meditation on a specific manifestation or manifestation or intention that you're trying to bring to life. Oh, it just started raining. So I really consider this a ritual practice, ritual movement. And it's a practice that you can use every day, and you can make it your own, and you can use as a way to just activate the body, activate your creativity, and find more inspiration for life. So let me just make sure that's all I want to say for now. Yeah, I think that's good. So for everyone who is actually joining and going to do this practice with me, you just need to, again, have enough space on the floor to sit cross-legged and go like this. And if you want, you can play some soft music to help you drop into it once we start going into the practice. And what I'll do afterwards is I will also share my playlist with you of the music that I use for this practice if you want to do it later. A yoga mat is good, a cushion, and I really encourage you to make this your own. So a big part of this practice is tuning into your unique way of doing it. How does your body want to move? Because we're all made differently. We all have different spines. We all have different pelvises and hips. So I really invite you to not follow me exactly. Listen to my words. I will guide you with my voice. And yes, this is your first time, and honestly, this is going to be 99% of the people watching their first time, because this is a practice that is made up by me. So if this is the first time you're seeing me, then this is the first time you're doing it. And be gentle with yourself, like really find it in your body and stay with the energy body. And we do a lot of repetitive movements. So if we go into a repetition, I also invite you to close your eyes and not even watch me at all, and just really go into your own experience. And remember that this is for you. This is your meditation. This is your practice. This is your chance to connect with your body in a really beautiful way and just find some deeper levels of your own expression and your own softness. Okay. I'm gonna scoot back so you can see my whole body. And if you can't hear me, just put in a note. I will try to speak more loudly so you can hear me as we're going through the practice. I'm on yoga mat I don't use only for bending. I'm on yoga mat I don't use only for Bending stretches. Yes, yes, yes. Yoga mat is great. And if you have a yoga mat, it doesn't need to be long. What you can actually do is fold it in half and just sit on it, fold it in half. That's going to be enough space for you. It's basically just so your butt has some cushion underneath it. Can you hear the rain? It was pretty loud, but it's coming and going. Okay, so I'm going to put on some music for myself too. And again, if you're not in a space where you can actually do the practice right now, you're welcome to just listen and watch and then try it in your own time as well. So just finding a comfortable seated position and stacking your spine and closing your eyes. And again, I'm just going to guide you with my voice for the most part. If you need to watch the movements, you're welcome to open your eyes and watch what I'm doing. But as soon as you kind of get the pattern, then again, I invite you to close your eyes and really feel into the body. Remembering that this is all about tuning into what's alive inside. What is the energy moving through you? And how can you connect with that more deeply and allow that to be what moves through you as we do the movements. So go ahead and close your eyes. And as you close your eyes, just bringing your body to complete stillness. And just allowing everything to settle down. And already seeing how much you can relax the body. So just allowing the hands to rest on the knees, relaxing the shoulders, relaxing all the muscles in the face, relaxing the belly, just allowing it to be soft, relaxing the legs and the hips. And seeing how much you can release in the body while staying seated. So really just being supported by the spine and by the pelvis. And then from here, tuning into the feeling body. So just noticing what's present right now, what sort of sensations you can feel. It could be the air on your skin, it could be the temperature on the skin, or it could be deeper, it could be some sort of vibration in the muscles. Or it could even be deeper, some sort of buzzing or sensation in the organs, in the heart, in the stomach. Whatever you can find, just attaching to some sort of feeling in the body. And then once you've dropped into the feeling body, coming to the breath and starting to breathe more deeply, breathing in through the nose. And as you breathe in through the nose, expanding into whatever you're feeling, making it louder, feeling it more. And then as you breathe out, releasing the breath out of the mouth and just allowing the energy to flush through the body and down into the earth. So we're breathing in deeply, slow, long in breath, feeling more, expanding into the sensations, into the vibrations, and then breathing out, allowing the energy to flow through the body and all the way down into the earth. And just doing a few more breaths like this on your own, breathing in, feeling, expanding, waking up the sensations in the body, and then breathing out, allowing the energy to flow through the body down into the earth. So we're starting to clear the channels of the body, starting to open up more space for that energy to flow through. And as you take a few more breaths like this, feeling that connection also between your body and the earth, where your body meets the earth, feeling supported by the earth, feeling the strength of the earth below you. And knowing that through this whole practice of awakening and activating, you're always being supported by the ground below. You can always send the energy down into the earth. So taking one more round of breath here on your own. And then on the next in-breath, we're going to bring our arms wide. Breathing in, opening the arms wide. And then as we breathe out, nice long breath, we're going to bring the arms down towards the floor in front of us. Long breath. And then on the next breath in, we're going to pull up the center of the body all the way up to the ceiling, lifting the head and the chest. And then again, breathing out, floating the arms down. And we'll repeat that a few times. Breathing in, pulling up through the center, all the way up. And breathing out, flowing the arms down. And you can continue breathing in your nose and out your mouth, or you can start breathing out of your nose as well. But keeping the breath long. Long breath in. Pulling up through the center, lifting everything up. And then long breath out, releasing down, floating the arms. And making sure that this movement is one fluid movement, so there's no breaks. The arms float up, and then they float down. And again, you can close your eyes. We'll do this a few more times. And just feel what's going on in the body. Feeling the fluidity. Continuing to soften the body. And we'll do it one more time here. Breathing in, arms go up. Breathing out, this time breathing out, bringing the hands to the knees. And this time we're going to breathe in and lift the head and the chest all the way to the ceiling, arching up. And as we breathe out, we're going to bow all the way down to the earth, bringing the hands to the ground, bowing all the way down. Right away, breathing in, rolling up through the spine, rolling all the way up through the spine, all the way up to the ceiling again. And breathing out, diving down, bowing down to the earth, bringing the hands to the floor. And we'll do that a few times. Breathing in, long breath in, rolling up all the way through the spine to the ceiling, arching up. And breathing out, bowing down to the earth. Full release of the breath out. Let's do it 2 more times. So through this whole practice, we want to try to maintain connection between the breath and the movement. So every single breath has a movement that goes with it. Long breath in, rolling up through the spine. And long breath out, releasing down. And we'll take 1 more breath in, stacking up to center. And then on the next breath out, I'm going to cross my arms over my body and round my head down. And on the next breath in, I'm going to lift up to the ceiling and arch my arms open like wings. And on the next breath out, softly crossing over, dropping the head, rounding the body. Breathing in, winging open, lifting the head and the chest, opening the arms. And breathing out, softly crossing over, as if you were slow motion flying. And again, this is just one fluid movement. As soon as the arms open all the way, you reach the top of the breath. Then the breath releases and the arms softly cross over. And as you continue in this movement, trying to maintain that level of relaxation in the body. So seeing if you can keep the muscles soft, keep opening the body, finding that fluidity. Long breaths. We'll do 1 more here. Always staying with the breath. The breath is just as important as the movement. So this last time we're going to cross over. Breathing out, crossing over. We're going to take 1 in-breath here. And then we're going to start fast release of the breath with the same movement. Breathing out. 4 more. Good, breathing in and breathing out, arms come down to the front. Breathing in, pulling up through the center, unfurling all the way up. And breathing out, opening back up. We'll do this 2 more times, breathing in, pulling up through the center, long breath, full breath, and breathing out, floating back down. Last time, breathing in, all the way up, and breathing out, bringing the hands down to the knees. Good. We're going to breathe in, bringing the head up. And now I'm going to breathe out and just bring the head forward, coming into neck circle. So I'm going to breathe in, bringing the head back, and breathing out, bringing the head forward. Nice and simple. Staying with the breath. So the breath goes out as you go forward and in as you go back. And then we'll just add the chest. So the chest can bow forward slightly as your head goes forward and can lift up and back. Breathing out as your head goes forward, breathing in as it goes back. One more out breath here. And then in breath to stack back up to the center. And right away we'll start the other side. So as the breath goes out, the head goes to the front. Breathing in, opening to the back. Breathing out, head goes forward. Staying present with the body, how does it feel? Fully focused on just this movement. And then adding the chest, allowing the chest to soften forward. And to start lifting up. So through all of this, we're also starting to awaken the spine. The spine is the trunk of all of your expression. So the more mobility we can have in the spine, the more capacity we have to express ourselves through the dance. One more breath in, stacking up to center. And then as you breathe out, we're going to hollow the belly, round the back, and drop the head. Breathing in, pushing the chest forward, tilting the pelvis back. And breathing out, tilting the pelvis forward, rounding the belly, dropping the head. Nice long breaths. Arching the back, arching the spine as much as you can, and then rounding the back, rounding the spine. Nice, slow, full breaths. Fully inhaling, filling the body with air, and then full exhale, releasing everything. A couple more times here. Again, close your eyes. Just feel into the body. Again, this is a meditation, staying with that breath, staying with the movement, allowing yourself to be really present with what is real, what is alive in the body. We'll do one more time here. And then we'll take one more deep inhale and we'll move to a fast release of the breath with the same movement. Exhaling out. Four more. A deep inhale in, lifting all the way up. Holding at the top, and then releasing the breath, bringing the hands to the floor, bowing all the way down. Again, breathing in, rolling up. We'll do that 2 more times. Lifting up higher, arching up, and breathing out, releasing the breath, bowing to the floor. One more time here. Breathing in, stacking up to the center. And right away, breathing out one more time, hollowing back. This time we're going to move into torso circle. So as I breathe in, I'm going to push the chest forward, around in a circle. And as I breathe out, I'm going to hollow back, finishing up that circle. Either direction is fine. Breathing in, starting with the heart, really feeling the heart circling around the center. Again, closing your eyes. Just feeling into your own spine, feeling into the ribs, the sternum, staying with the breath, breathing in as you circle forward, breathing out as you circle back. And then from here, we're going to allow the spiral to travel through the spine. So imagining the spiral moving down the spine, towards the lumbar spine, into the tailbone, and then even further down into the pelvis and the hips. So making the spiral wider and deeper, and allowing the movement to travel all the way down into the pelvis and the hips. And then from there, imagining as the spiral travels back up through the spine, passes the heart, between the shoulder blades, all the way up into the neck, and bringing some movement into the head and the neck. And as you do this, you can actually tune into every single vertebrae. Every single vertebrae is its own joint with its own movement. So really feeling as this movement starts to awaken all of these different joints. And then from here, just closing your eyes and allowing the spiral to travel wherever it wants to go. So the spirals can be smaller and faster, or bigger and slower, softer. But always staying with that breath. So breathing in as your chest pushes forward and breathing out as you move back. And as you keep spiraling, staying in the feeling body and just feeling the energy inside of the body. Feeling it start to awaken. And also feeling how that hara energy, that space, the womb space, either the literal womb space or the figurative womb space, starts to get activated, and you can use the spiral to direct that energy through the body, directing it up through the crown or directing it down to the earth. Keep finding your spiral, find the pleasure in the movement, enjoy the softness, enjoy the gentleness. This is a soft opening, the feminine way, creating more space, more fluidity. And then from here, you can either leave your hands on your knees or you can allow your arms to float up into space. And just allowing them to float so that the movement of the arms becomes a response to the spine. Or you can think of it as the arms actually become an extension of the spine. And so you're not controlling the way the arms are moving, you're just allowing them to respond to the spirals. And what this does is it gives another exit point for the energy. So the energy can flow up from the hara, up through the body, flow down through the arms, and exit through the fingertips, through the palms of the hands. And so we're, again, creating more space. We're opening up all the channels of the body, opening up the channels in the shoulders and the arms and the wrists, as well as opening up the channels in the spine. And again, just closing your eyes and enjoying the movement, finding the pleasure in the movements, doing it your way. Good, and then we'll do one more circle. And then on your next in-breath, go ahead and stack back up to center. And take one full breath here, breathing out here. Just feeling in the stillness. Let's take one more breath here, breathing in. And just allowing yourself to float in these vibrations. And then on your next in-breath, we'll open the arms wide. And together we'll move onto our unfurl. So breathing out, bringing the hands down to the front. Breathing in, pulling up through the center, opening up the body. And breathing out, releasing the energy down and out. So we're clearing, we're moving the energy through the body, allowing it to express and exit. Creating more space. One more time here. Breathing in, pulling up through the body. Nice deep breaths. Breathing out, bringing the hands to the knees. And right away we'll go the other direction. So breathing in, pushing the chest forward. Breathing out, circling back the other direction. Starting with the heart. So closing your eyes. Just imagining, feeling your heart as it spirals around the center. Feeling as it pushes forward and softens back. Finding the breath. Breathing in as you circle forward. And breathing out as you circle back. So it's really important to maintain the breath the whole time. So every single breath has a movement to it through the entire practice. We never lose connection to that. And then from here, allowing the spiral to travel down the spine, down into the lumbar spine, down into the tailbone, and even further down into the hips and the pelvis. So the circle gets wider and deeper, starting to activate and wake up the hips, starting to wake up the pelvis. And then allowing the spiral to travel up through the spine, back through the heart, and then up through the shoulder blades, into the neck, all the way up into the head, bringing some movement into the head. And again, finding your way of doing this. Each of our bodies is different. Each of our bodies needs something different in this moment. So really tuning into, what does your body need? How can you move in a way that best serves your softening, your opening? What you need right now in this moment. This is all for you. This is your practice, your meditation. So again, just allowing the spiral to travel wherever it wants to go. So want to be bigger, slower, faster. Finding the pleasure in the movement. How can you move in a way that feels good? Enjoying the fluidity, enjoying these spirals, enjoying the activation of all of your mana, energy inside, feeling as it spirals through the body in different directions. And then you can leave your arms on the knees, or you can float them into space and just allow them to respond to the motion. And if you float your arms, just feeling the space in the palms of the hands, feeling the space between the fingers, under the armpits. Really feeling that floating sensation as if you were moving underwater, staying with the gentleness. Remembering that we are also trying to continue relaxing the body, continuing to release tension and stress that's built up in the body. And just gently breathing that space into the body and allowing all of that energy to keep flowing through. Keep breathing with it. Keep your eyes closed. Just allow yourself to dive into your movements. And again, there's no right or wrong way to do this. This is really about you tuning into your spiral. How does your spine want to move right now? Good, we'll do one more circle here. And when you do this practice on your own, you can go for as long as you want. You can stay in each of these movements for as long as serves you. So breathing in together, stacking up through the center. And then go ahead and take a couple of rounds of breath here in stillness, breathing out. And just feeling that spiraling motion continuing to happen even as you're in stillness. Continuing to feel the energy flowing through, directing through the body. And we'll do one more wave of the spine here. So we're going to breathe in here. And this time I'm going to wave my body over to one side. I can bring the hand to the floor. And then I'm going to breathe in through the center and breathe out to the other side. So it starts at the base of the spine. It waves up through the spine, head last, and then waves down the other side. So again, close your eyes and see if you can imagine that motion in your spine like a snake. It waves side to side. Imagining a snake, the way it moves. And just feeling that in your spine. Activating that wave. Staying with the breath, breathing out as you bend to the side, breathing in as you move through the center. We'll do one more time here. And then without stopping the movement, we're going to go into a free exploration of the spine. So I invite you to just start finding different ways to circle and wave and spiral in the spine. And again, there's no right or wrong way to do this. This is just your own exploration. So you can close your eyes and just start allowing your spine to move, staying with the breath. So moving from the breath. But just imagining all of the different directions that the spine can circle, spiral, wave. If it's hard for you to invent ways to do this, or if your body isn't finding new ways, you can always go back to the ones we've done. which are the spirals around, the waves side to side, and even the back and forth of the spine. And then you can combine these different movements in different ways to create your own flow. And again, close your eyes, find your own rhythm. If you're listening to music, you can tune into the rhythm of the music. And again, if you want to, you can allow your arms to float and just allow your arms to respond to the spine as if you were underwater and just floating through the space. And we'll do this for about a minute, just exploring, staying in the body, staying with the breath. Again, if you start feeling stuck of what to do, you can just go back into the movements that we've done together, the spirals, the waves. And then just start playing with doing them in different orders. Imagining the water moving through the spine, imagining the snake-like motions, and attaching to pleasure. How can you move in a way that feels good, that supports your body continuing to open and soften? And we'll take about 20 more seconds here, just exploring anything else that feels good. Remember, when you do this practice on your own, you can stay in this as long as you want. And just keep exploring. Keep breathing, long breaths, welcoming the air in, expanding into it, expanding into the feeling body, and then releasing the breath, allowing the energy to flow through. Good. We'll take one more in-breath to come all the way back to center. We'll open the arms wide together. Hold at the top of the breath here. And then long breath out, bringing the arms down in the front. A couple unfurls, breathing in, pulling up through the center. Long breath. And then melting down. We'll do a few more, holding at the top and the bottom of the breath. So holding at the bottom of the breath. And then breathing in, holding at the top of the breath, just for a moment. Breathing out, holding at the bottom of the breath. And when you do this on your own, you can take the breath as slow as you want, holding at the top for as long as you want, and holding at the bottom for as long as you want. One more time here. I'm just gonna check my time. Hey, okay. So you can either stay here on your knees, on your butt, and bring your hands to your knees, or if you feel comfortable and it works for your body, just go ahead and for a moment transition onto your knees. And we're just gonna do our closing movement in this position if it's comfortable for you. So the last movement we're going to do is the grounding movement. And this is the movement that I always put at the end of the practice, because we've done all this work to activate and to release and expand the energy and to wake it all up and move it through. But what is also important is to take all of that expansion and ground it back into yourself, and to reconnect with the earth and to reconnect with that hara, so that you can feel strong in that energy center. So you have all of that expansion inside of you ready to be activated and ready to be expressed, but you're grounded and centered. So this time we're going to breathe in and bring the arms out wide, all the way up. And then as we breathe out, we're going to push down through the center of the body and down towards the earth. Breathing in, long, expansive breath up, taking all of that flow, all of that energy, and then gathering it and sending it down. We'll do that 3 more times. As you do it, close your eyes and really feel as you push and send all of that energy back down to your core and back to the earth. 2 more times, expanding, and then centering and grounding. One more time. And then from there, you can bring your hands back to your knees and return your breath to its normal pattern. And let's just take a moment just to be here, just to feel. Keeping the mind soft and just feeling what's alive in the body, feeling the activation in the hands, in the belly, in the hara, in the heart, in the throat. And then just feeling the overall aliveness in the body, the lightness, the spaciousness. And just go ahead and take one more deep breath here. And then the way I always like to close my practice is I like to place my hands on my body. I like to do one hand on the womb and then one hand on the heart. And just take a moment to really send some gratitude into yourself. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for taking this time to be with the body, to be with the spirit, to be present with yourself. Just sending that love and acceptance and gratitude into your being for showing up, being present. So thank you to all of those who joined me, and like I said, this is a very, very small snippet of the entire practice, and I really wish I could have gotten into more and gone deeper into it. Because what would happen from here is we would move through different levels. We would go to our hands and our knees, and we would activate the pelvis and the hips. We would start to activate the body, bring a little bit more fire into it, more release work. So really allowing that breath to move through in a fast way. And then from there, we move to the knees. We do a lot of body waves. We move up to standing. We do full body waves. And then we always come back to the ground and, like we did here, reground and recenter. So this was like a very, very small teaser, intro to this entire practice. And this practice can be soft, it can be easy, it can be like this, really simple, and it also can be intense and fierce. Thanks, Jax. Yay, I'm so happy you were able to join, sister, and experience some of that. And yeah, I mean, it's an amazing practice, and there's so much more you can do with it, and so much deeper it can go. But even just doing this small amount, this intro, is a great way. I love starting the day with this. I think it's an amazing way to just wake up the body in a way that is very gentle, very feminine. And when I say feminine, I don't mean that it's just for women, because men also can really use this return to the feminine energy, the reconnection to the natural feminine ways of movement. We all have this inside of ourselves, and it's important for all of us to really find this connection inside of ourselves and to learn that we can experience transformation, we can experience growth, we can experience liberation in a way that feels good. That's through pleasure, that's through softness, that's through gentleness, through slowing down, and that we don't always have to just push all the time. That we are allowed to feel good in our body, and to continue opening the body and healing ourselves, healing the body in a way that feels really nourishing and nurturing too. So I know I have like 2 more minutes. Like I said, I'm really bad at keeping time when I'm doing these practices. But if anyone has any question that they really want to post right now, go ahead and ask. And if not, I'm super available afterwards if you want to connect with me and just voice any questions or talk about your experience, then I'm happy to do that. Mel, thank you for joining. Yes, thank you for enjoying, and yay. So if you want more information on this practice, if you want to experience it more and learn the full practice, I will be running an online immersion based on this practice where I break down every single module, every single section of the practice. And so by the end of the immersion, you have the entire practice, you've had it broken down, and you've had a lot of time to get the rhythm into your body. Because like I said, a big part of it is really making sure that you keep the breath aligned with the movement. So once you have it in your body, then you can just go for it. I have a group, yes. I will write in the group. The group is called Liberation Through Movement. I can also post it in the comments. Right now, it's exclusively for women, because like I said, I'm currently working mostly with women. If you are a man and you really want this practice, please also reach out to me, and I can help direct you in a way where you can have more of this as well. So join the group. This is where I will be updating on the online immersion, and I also post small practices there. So if you want other little parts of this practice, there's a practice where you lay on the floor and do really simple movements, and some other parts of this practice, then I also post those in the group. So I'm out of time. Thank you. I love you. Please feel free to reach out to me personally, and I'm looking forward to connecting with more of you in the future. And thank you, Jax. Super appreciate this opportunity, and lots of love to you, sister.